very proud to present Team Git Push, Get Paid with their app RP Go. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Hi guys, I'm Andy. I'm here with Liam and Sam, and Carrie's joining us remotely, and we're here to showcase our app RP Go. So RP Go is a exercise-themed mobile RPG game. So the user will undertake a variety of movement-based challenges or quests in order to level up the character and to earn experience points and rewards. Those quests include traveling a certain distance or meeting a step goal, climbing X amount of meters, and so on. As you can probably tell from some of the slides, we modeled our game on retro RPG games to keep the theme quite lighthearted and to bring in an element of nostalgia to the app. We were really inspired by a handful of really popular apps such as Strava, Pokemon Go, and Zombies Run. So we tried to take some of the core concepts from each, put them together with our own twist to produce what we believe is a really exciting app that promotes a healthy lifestyle and encourages people to get out and explore. We followed agile practices throughout, so we used Kanban, daily stand-ups. We were fortunate enough to have our own headquarters in Leeds, so it was really easy to pair program and mob programming as well. Really proud of what we've achieved in the past few weeks, so without further ado, I'll pass you over to Carrie, who will give you a demo of the app.
Hello. So this is our app. If you'd be able to play the video, please. Yeah, so this is the title screen, so you can either log in or register, and it's obviously styled on old games. So this is a registration screen where you can pick your character sprite. So it picks how you're going to look in the game. And you can create an account with a username and a password, but because we already have an account, we can log in. So here we're just going to log in with our pre-existing username and password. And then once we're logged in, this brings us to the map screen. So on the map screen, your position on the map is represented by a little sprite that you saw selected in the registration screen. So obviously it's like your character on the map. And from the map screen, you can go to the quest screen. So this is where you pick the activities, which Andy mentioned in the previous slide. So they're all based on sort of step counts or meters traveled or meters climbed. And you get a reward of a trophy or and experience points. So for the case of this example, we're going to pick this Tis But a Scratch, our one of the 500 meters challenges. And on this screen, you'll see the challenge information at the top. So you can end at any time, but you'll lose your progress. And that reminds you of this. So now we're going to complete the challenge. So you'll see the counter at the top underneath the challenge description has gone up. So once it's past that threshold, then you'll get the prompt to see if you want to continue tracking, but you won't get an experience, or finish challenge, get experience and level up. The other feature, so some other features in this app are in the menu screen. So you can change your sprite. So you can change the character that's representing you on the map. So it changes the menu and it will change in the map as well. That's persistent throughout the app. You'll also see there's a trophies menu. So this is where the rewards that you get from the completing challenges, they'll show up in the trophies menu. You can also see the previous activities. So this shows the stats of previous challenges that you've completed. And you can even see the route that you've taken. So I think this is a run from Leeds Centre to somewhere else. But then yeah, we can also see the challenge that we completed earlier, the Tis But a Scratch challenge. We'll see that route. Also in the menu, we've got fellow adventurers. So this is list of other users of the app, so you can see their stats, so you can kind of compare progress with other people. And if you tap on them, you can also see their completed challenges, and you can see their routes that they've previously followed to complete that challenge. And yeah, that is about everything on the app. So once you're completed, you can log out and it'll take you back to the title screen. Cool. So that's the app, and I'll pass you over to Samuel for our tech stack.
Great. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the tech choices we made while we were making the app. So on our front end, we wanted to make something that would work well across platform. And to do this, we decided to use React Native and Expo. This offered an opportunity to learn something new. It's something we hadn't done on the course, but with a little bit of familiarity of React.js, which meant we could focus on the functionality. React Native and Expo had a ton of really useful modules and tools within it that we needed for the core functionality. So we had React Native maps, a location API in Expo. Expo also had a module for accessing the pedometer in your phone as well. And Expo also gave a really good dev experience. So we could really easily use the Expo app to see the changes we were making to the app on our phone quickly. And it also allowed us to host the app quite quickly on Expo, which for testing this kind of app where you need to run around and make things happen was really helpful. In the backend, we opted for a MongoDB database. The initial thinking of this was just we wanted to learn more about non-relational databases. But as we progressed, we realized it was a good choice. It gave a great deal of flexibility in the data structure and the endpoints you build for it. And as we were building the app, we found we needed to sort of store data in different ways to be able to pass it between different components. We combined this with an Express server using Mongoose as a object data modeling library to be able to speak between the two. Mongoose made it really easy to write endpoints quite quickly, which again was really helpful when we were sort of adapting quickly while making the project. And Node as well allowed us to use crypto for encrypting and decrypting passwords when we were creating and logging in users. The whole thing was done using test-driven development with Jest as a testing library. And we used Heroku to host the backend so we could get it up quickly and be able to start testing the front end as quickly as possible. I'll just pass on to Liam now to talk through some of the future opportunities and the challenges we had.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to talk through some of the hurdles that we got over just during development. So one of the first ones we had was, Sam mentioned earlier that we chose to use a MongoDB database on the back end. Certainly in my case, there was a little bit of early worries just about how different that would be from the relational databases that we learned about during the course. But as we progressed, MongoDB's documentation proved itself to be really good, and the tutorials that we found were really quite good as well. And along with some pair and mob programming, we were able to share knowledge quite easily so that we were able to all be on the same page. So in the end, we ended up preferring MongoDB to relational databases to quite a big extent. Another hurdle we got over was to do with testing, especially on the front end, because a large amount of the app is centered around tracking location and all sorts of different aspects of that location. It became necessary to feed the app sort of live data during development, which actually involved us sort of being out in Leeds city centre trying to hope that the app would be able to find us. I know definitely that we're very grateful to Sam as well, since we had him running up and down 10 flights of stairs to where we weren't able to use an elevator to track the elevation data. So we're all very grateful for that. And another hurdle we came over was some of the nuances between iOS and Android, which were the two platforms we were developing for. So much so that we found that iOS devices were much more readily willing to use some of the pedometer data that was built into it. So we definitely came to understand some of the differences between those. In terms of future features that we'd like to develop, you'll remember from the earlier slides that we took quite a lot of inspiration from Strava whilst in development, and we were hoping to incorporate some accessibility through Strava's API. So maybe if users of our app also have a Strava account, they might be able to use activities on their Strava to contribute towards challenges, or maybe even just have that data visible in some way. You can see from these screenshots here that we did do some initial spiking with that in a web form, but given a bit more time, we would like to sort of translate that over into an app equivalent of that. Another feature we'd like to expand a little bit more is to do with the social elements of the app. So the decision to add in the friends list, the other adventurers, was brought up sort of midway through development. And we do think it looks quite good at the moment, but we'd definitely like to encourage a bit more interaction between users of the app, maybe some kind of liking feature or a way for users to sort of feedback on each other's activities. So I believe we have one more slide, if we could grab that. Yep, so this is just the information about the group. We are, of course, Git push, Git paid. If you did have any questions, we'll do our very best to answer those. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching.